with apologies to William McGonagall. 219 Corbetts all in one go, with no motorised transport and perhaps have to row. With maps, books and schedules over many late nights, the plan read 2,500 miles. It gave me a fright. No GPS, just compass and maps. Dozens of huge days, none of them flat. One patient partner, Brenda, was keen to take on logistics and the camper machine. Mountains between 2,500 and 3,000 feet are marked across many Land Ranger sheets. Corbetts are tricky, but really quite fun. Characters grouped, only in 3s, 2s or 1s. Rarely linked by ridges or those, unlike their cousins, the convenient Munros. Scattered across Scotland, high and wide, this made for no easy ride. Starting on islands, Harris, Skye and Rum, Mull, Jura and Arran, with 11 hills to run. 10 days fine sailing out in the west, with Scottish weather at its very best. Like here atop Angeful, with views all around, I spied a huge sea eagle scanning the ground. With very light winds, the sailing was gentle, but the sound of Mull night sail was very eventful. The crew stuck to their task, just playing the sails, banned from the engine, this would mean fail. They teased and coaxed out every precious knot, and in between sailing, we drank rather a lot. Sail into Loch Namil, heading for shore, and into the dinghy, powered simply by oar. Not all the sailing was just as much fun. Often rain down the crew necks would coldly run. Fighting the elements with cold frozen hands and landing me safely on 6 island sands. The 3 paps of Jura may fill you with awe, but only one Corbett, Rocky Ben and Orr. With forecast grim weather round the Mull of Kintyre, it was the canal at Crinan to which we would retire. With me hauling the locks and riding a bike, our yacht Finlandia made a magnificent sight. Then finish off Arran and 4 seats to Troon, Brenda's kiss waiting on the marina pontoon. The borders awaited with bog, moor and fell, but it lasted forever in 3 days of hell. Obscured by thick mist and downpours of rain, I began to consider that I might be insane. Battling a storm, I just survived on White Coombe, but complete hypothermia nearly met doom. Now further north, the weather got worse. When snow replaced rain, I thought I was cursed. When slithering the mountains in light summer gear, all I could dream of was having a beer. But not on my own, but with some of my friends, from my great running club, the famous Westerlands. Here is a photo that tells a tall tale. With me jubilant on top, you can't hear me wail. Not good with exposure, I relied on goodwill, but reality told, and my pants I did fill. With knocking knees I behaved like a toddler, but my friends got me safely over the cobbler. This here is Brenda, my sexy young chick. She was in charge of all things logistic. Picking up bikes or mopping my brow, endlessly driving or making my chow. Doing all the hard work and most of the grief, knowing she was there was such a relief. I should have put another line in. Soon after halfway, disaster did strike. I splattered my knee when I fell off my bike. It didn't look good when my leg wouldn't bend. 3 days off, and maybe the end. But no, said the physio, to finish would be nice. Bandages, drugs, and ice, 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 ice. Back in the fold now, using poles for my leg. I finished this day on the hills near my leg. Maintaining my treatment without frozen peas, I jumped into the water to freeze legs with the sea. 5 Corbetts ticked off and ready for bed, beer in one hand, sunset blood red. Eagles, goats and adders, ptarmigan too, fox seals and dippers, and of course the cuckoo. Mountain wildlife abound, just see what I found. This wee chap helpless on steep heathery ground. Abandoned still wet and life very raw, literally dropped right out of his maw. 2,000 miles on the road and months on my feet. Hot itchy trench foot nearly made me greet. Aches and pains would come and go, sometimes my head, sometimes my toes. Whilst the knee had recovered and again I was flying, my feet in a river was most satisfying. Solo on Benjerrig, happily trotting along, but look a little closer and I'll tell you it's wrong. Running beside me were dozens of friends, or following my blog site towards Corbetts. Support throughout Scotland, all along the way, but also from New Zealand and the US of A. 30-mile days would easily coast by, including some climbing over 12,000 feet high. 14 hours at a time, only in darkness retreat. It's different from racing with no clock to beat. Even daily biking, up to 50 miles long, couldn't restrain me, I was feeling so strong. On most days I felt great, the pace really trim, but occasionally bonked out and feeling quite grim. I'd crawl back to the van, a quick coma in bed, but up in my way once I'd been fed. Food consumption colossal, missing seconds was rare. Once at the trough, I'd eat like a bear. Now Scotland like this is truly amazing. You can't beat it when the sun is out blazing. I got my share and sometimes too much, but never complained since that frost bit my crutch. Good weather like that often swapped with the poorest, with midges and all to get rid of the tourists. With only one day to go and the end now in sight, on Foynehaven a phone call and a hell of a fright. My bike crash had been hard, but now Brenda's far worse. Her shoulder and arm she spectacularly burst. Distraught by the timing, she would miss the last top, but for 13 pins and a plate, she was off for an op. I just wanted to chuck it, all my willpower diminished, but Brenda's message was clear, you must get it finished. This last day was hardest, but not for the miles. I desperately needed some of Brenda's big smiles. So much we had shared, so much we had seen. We loved every mountain and the miles in between. Her friends had all gathered to toast Corbett toil, and we did so for Brenda at the top of Ben Lyle. Thank you.